Good morning, everyone. Coverage of day one of the second round of the BNL 26. This is a WFR BNL Karting Series Commentator. Path to the grand finals. Pushed forward 2 weeks to the 7th to the 4th. Internacional do Algarve in Portimao in Portugal. One round in the books. In Austricourt. This time we move to the Corvan region of southern Belgium. Around about a 20 international raceway, which has been around since the mid-1980s. Maldonado, Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton, and of course another man that won 4 world titles in a row, Sebastian Vettel. Towards the halfway part of the season before we head to Karting for the final 2 rounds, 19. And then the first weekend, the 3rd and 4th, things off with the Champions Winter Trophy back in February of this year. This circuit has a character all of so, you know what, we're a couple of minutes away, but let's give So the circuit itself has sweeping turns, tight technical. It has been a part of the BNL Karting Series calendar for me. I do find enjoyable to drive at, and there's plenty of passing over opportunities. Close pack racing, slipstreaming being very much part of the tactics that the drivers will use over the course of the next 2 days of competition. Now this 366 metres. Here is a look at the circuit itself. So we are in southern Belgium, and Marienburg runs in a clockwise direction. 3 sectors in total, measures 1,006 metres. The drivers will have to negotiate tight technical corners, even with the odd chicane. Total. Now we head to our youngest drivers on the grid. Mini and Mini Rookie combined a total of 23, but more to the point, well, after the opening round, we had our first you through Mini Max and Mini Rookie. In the championship standings after BNL round 1 back. So, Josh Cook from KR Sport. 26 points behind, and it's Dams Racing's young Belgian hot shot. Then we turn our attention to the youngest drivers on the grid, of which we have 9 here this weekend. On the 22nd of March, it's the defending champion, Arlo 3 with Arthur Bowers 3. P3 on 204 points. onto the circuit, and we will have the following for all drivers. Then we have the qualifying was completed this morning. In the meantime, Ryan Rampadarath takes pole up on the front row. Arthur Farrow and Teddy Murphy running up the top 3 rows. This time it's John Rookie, head of Austin Oman. Ilya Zain Sofuoglu, August Likibar-Lingzo, Sorensen, Arthur Bowers, Everett van Middendorp, Kai Su, Riders Young, found that we did have some rainfall this morning, which meant the track was. As we go on to the official formation lap, we have nearly 100 drivers here at Karting Defang International Raceway, led by Thierry Lepine and of the season. Formation as we get set and ready. And Australia, Ryder Gion, great to have him along with us for his first adventure in the world of karting in the young divisions. Troy Kostecki also the cars maker on the front row of the grid as they head through into turn 12 out of 4. The main building gantry just off of the final right-hander. Overlooked by series race director Manuel Branco and his crew as we will go for the first. Those revs up for the first time here on day 1. Round 2. It's Ryan Rampadarath, but Arthur Farrow to the inside. Through at turn 1. Rampadarath carries the speed round the corner. Here at 3. Change for the lead. As Farrow gets through, I think the Goldschmidt did as well. No, that is the 1-3. No, that's the 1-3-1. That's Day and Habits who's moved. Now 5 from KR Sport. Did take double pole position last time out in Austricourt. But as we come to complete the opening lap of the race, it is Arthur Farrow leading the way. Dean Habits looking to the inside. Get 3 wide, dives through to the inside and gets second position. Now he's trying to go through turn 2. Chat that are saying that the stream is glitching and lagging. We are change possibly for 3rd place as Arthur Farrow gets passed by Austin Oman for P3 up the hill. Additional lap, and Dean Habits and Josh themselves and the drivers behind So Dean Habit for the race lead. At the moment, the 175 from KR Sport, who does have a commanding lead in the series after the opening. But that lead does not get squandered. And quite interesting to have a chat with the 175. And a lot of drivers did in the last couple of practice sessions. We actually ended up going out on scrub tyres to see how things would work. And on that particular point, he seemed to have fairly decent. And we are about to complete another lap here at seconds. Change a little bit further back, and that is 7 gets through. Dean Habit sets the fastest lap of anybody, 58. Close in on Dean Habits, but Austin Oman is also close to complete lap 4. Gap is about 7.5 tenths. That's including Milo de Carsmaker, Ryan Rampadara. So now puts it. Some people make Shaman Defau. Cook. Out of Escavgor, the snail section, one of the slowest parts on the circuit. Dean Habit starting to try and pull away. We've got just over 2 minutes to go. Seven tenths, but Josh Cook has started to close in that gap. Meantime, Arthur and Maxime Bell top 20 at the moment with 23 drivers. Cook and Oman starting to close that gap to the Belgian up front. So once again, they go through 3 laps, I would imagine, if we cross the line with with just over a minute to go. Dean again. So effectively 2 laps. Maybe make that on the live timing according to the timing tower. So Dean Habits, well, just over 4.5 tenths of a second ahead of Josh Cook, but that 10th in the opening sector. Oman sticking with him, keeping the same pace as the 175 from KR Sport as they go through into. It'll be very, very tight on time as to whether the last lap board gets shown to the driver. To go as Dean Habits goes through turn 12. So this is going to be very. And he is going to make it with 2 seconds to spare. So 2 laps remaining. The timer now hits 0. slowly but surely. Three down to Chemin de Fer for the penultimate time. That gap seems to be stationary at around about tenths. What will be the penultimate time? DN Habit still leads the way. Cook, Oman in P2, P3, chasing down the young Belgian up front. Townsend up 8 spots now to P6. 7. Sofuoglu, the youngster from Turkey, in the 54, now rounds out your overall. The drivers making their day and habits. One firm grasp on the leading spots out of everybody, through into turn 12, up the hill for the final time. Day and habits from racing in the qualifying heat for Mini and Mini Rookie, head of Josh Cook and Austin Aman. August Likabo-Lingzo, it's a drag. Teddy Murphy, who was fractionally ahead of Rian Townsend, who made up eight spots from 14th on the Cosmic, who rounds out the top 7. Round out your top 10. Sofuoglu finishing ahead of Henry Moya and first race back in the BNL karting series for Ryan Rampadal. There is your top 12. Habits, Cook, Oman, Likabo-Lingzo, Murphy, Townsend, Decalsmaker, Page, Fair Hours. The last 3 in the top 12, all Mini rookies, so well done to them. Head of Jayan Prakash Maltehom, Ryder Jiong on his European debut makes up 5 places, starts 21st, ends Evert van Middendorp, Arlo Gamble, Kai Suri, and unfortunately it's up. So we now head to